Dear participants of the 6th Interdisciplinary Conference of Management Researchers, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for the honor and pleasure of sharing my thoughts about the challenges of our industries and the opportunities for our research efforts, finding suitable answers to some of the most important questions as a keynote for the 6th Interdisciplinary Conference of Management Researchers conducted by the Faculty of Management Studies in collaboration with Emerald India. Special thanks I would like to express to several people who were involved intensively in this conference. Professor Udaya Ratnayake, the Vice Chancellor of the Sabaraga Muva University of Sri Lanka, Professor Atula Gnanapala, Dean of the Hosting Faculty of Management Studies, and Professor Jayante Devasiri, the chair of the conference, but also the colleagues Philip Kotler, Kent Baker, Sumit Narula, all the representatives of Emerald Publishing, Sangeeta Menon, Disha Langkampal, and also all the partner universities, institutions, the conference committee, the sponsors, all the people involved in this conference. Thank you very much. You all did a great job, I think, and I really appreciate being part of this impressive conference. I've been working from my home office, where I'm also now, in Berlin since March 2020. And meanwhile, the students and my students are studying in Dresden at the Dresden School of Management. We learned a lot about virtual environments, distance learning, online lectures, breakout rooms, and other instruments. But the core business remained the same, conducting lectures, applying methods and theories, and making young professionals familiar with working conditions and developing their employability. Consequently, my first thought is about the future of our young professionals and their future skills. How much digital normality is useful and efficient? How much personal interaction face-to-face will still remain important? Will gestures and mimics also influence our negotiations in future? Or will the quality of communication tools become more important year by year? Do the generations Y and Z may choose their employers also depending on their digital appearance, on their communication instruments? As I'm coming from the hospitality industry with a strong HR background, my fields of research also focus on exchange programs, as well as networks, developing cooperative educational structures and joint study programs. Therefore, my second thought is about alliances, helpful structures between educational partners, but also among industry and academic partners. I'm convinced that only companies and universities which are able and willing to establish trustful and reliable cooperative structures will remain or become successful. Their success will be based on sharing knowledge and experiences and developing an attractive reputation for new employees as well as for existing experts within the organization. Following this, one example from my current field of research, several universities in Europe are currently developing a joint study and research program on culinary arts and tea culture, developed by European partners and taught by European partners, both from industry and academia. Of course, each of the partners could invest in its own efforts and develop a separated and competitive structure, but we all agreed during the pandemic when we met virtually that we want to have a unique sense of joint forces, combining the best of all of us, not seeing this as a loss of independency or sovereignty, but as a benefit for each member. I'm sure being able to cooperate will be the strength of the future. Willing to cooperate will be the competence of future success. My third thought is focused on the non-human impacts in future. The impact of artificial intelligence on service industry, service-oriented industries, managing lack of people, qualifications, and attractiveness of jobs. Following the title of the conference, Fostering Global Vicinity Today for a Resilient Future, the questions can be or should be: who are our future neighbors to collaborate with? Who is influencing our choice of friends, colleagues, applicants? How can we develop robots or artificial intelligence functions to be supported in the best way possible, but without the risk of being dominated by artificial intelligence? Maybe tomorrow the CVs of applicants will be evaluated first by artificial HR experts and selected. Maybe the first interview will be conducted by robots. And only if these steps were passed successfully, the applicant will see a manager in real. Maybe this is one part of efficient HR administrative process, but maybe we can develop tools to select people for trainings or sport activities too, and we can maybe select them based on information about their performance collected by virtual supervisors who are watching and controlling them. But if we accept that somebody, or let's say a machine or a system, is watching our employees, is this really a positive perspective on team spirit in a working environment? Consequently, we have to train the managers handling these issues. We have to make applicants, our students, familiar with these circumstances, with the risks, the chances, the options, the costs, and we have to develop comparative research activities regarding best practices and also the bad ones. We should see our research activities as helpful and supportive for a changing society based more and more on algorithms and virtual decisions, planned and structured by artificial intelligence. And this needs our efforts, our commitment, and our collaboration. My fourth thought is about sustainability, and again, the young generation. What about the comparative perspectives of this buzzword? Can countries become sustainable also if they cannot provide enough water and food to their people? Or should they focus first on basic needs? Is sustainability a challenge, a problem made by developed countries or seen mostly by developed countries and should be solved by them? Or is sustainability really seen and understood as a holistic challenge? Or do we focus too much on certain materials, certain sources of energy? Let me give you one example of a very successful researcher, Albert Szent-Györgyi. He was a US-Hungarian biochemist, winner of one of the Nobel Prizes for physiology of medicine, was claiming that research is to see what everybody else has seen and to think what nobody else has thought. Taking this into account, have you ever wondered why does research achieve such great importance? Or what is the purpose and the desire of years of intense work on certain research projects? Aside from being a tool which builds the knowledge and facilitates the learning, research represents the key to a successful business, differentiating the lies from the truth and finding and sizing opportunities. But how is this research even possible? In order to answer this question, we have to talk about the next subject, which is quality in education and lecturing, representing the foundation of dynamic and stable societies. Leading to empowerment, a strong education and lecturing system can be assimilated as a powerful weapon that changes the world. It strengthens individuals and helps them get control over situations, being an important factor in combating poverty. Let's take a minute and try to imagine how would this world look like without education, without research. Would we be now connected virtually on a conference? Probably not. Would it be normal that we listen to each other, that we can talk with each other? Probably not. Currently, we can see that crisis and risk management worldwide have to be optimized. Resilience needs to be a standard aim of political and economical structures. And meanwhile, every crisis can be fruitful and full of new opportunities. And research, our research should be the positive reaction on every crisis to see the challenges, the opportunities. Research should be the hope seeding activity in the wide field of knowledge. As you probably already know, I'm teaching international hotel management in German and in English, and sometimes also in French. What you might not be acquainted with is my passion for tea. You can see the teapots behind me. Having said that, I cannot conclude without saying a few words about this incredible and second most consumed drink in the world, as we are on a conference in Sri Lanka. Considering the production, tea is one of the main sources of foreign exchange for Sri Lanka, also for other countries, contributing to the economy and therefore having a great importance. With a long history dating from 1824, when the first plant arrived in Sri Lanka, black tea has been consumed during the years, developing certain habits, traditions, maybe with milk or sugar. And sharing a teapot, sharing a cup of tea is a common way of relaxing, of gathering, sitting and talking. If you compare this, coming back to Germany, the sense of tea culture is similar. The strong black tea is preferred, while green tea has been increasing. Especially in the northwest of Germany, known as East Frisia, the people there are drinking, in average, 300 liters of black tea per person per year. Their tea culture was awarded by the UNESCO as World Cultural Heritage. And this year they won the title World Champion in Tea Drinking of the Book of Records. So there are similarities. Were you aware of these specific similarities in tea consumption? Neither. But I started my research about tea culture, about teapots, about everything what is related to tea. And I'm happy because this is a really delicious topic of research and important because you see the meaning for economics, for people, for cultural development. Mentioning this, I would like to express my gratitude to the organizers and to my colleagues. It was the black tea and an international working group on tea tourism which led us to the same virtual room and which makes collaborative activities possible. With this moment, or in this moment, I would like to say a special thanks also to Professor Aslam, because he was the person initiating my keynote today, because we met in this international working group on tea tourism. And sometimes you can see this simplicity, the passion, and the common sense and conviction of the same values bring people together. Researchers, businessmen, teachers, and students, all united in the aim of better knowledge through research. But in order to achieve all this, trust, reliability, and accountability has to be present. whether it is between two individuals or two different nations. While trust increases productivity, facilitates any connections and reduces stress, reliability and accountability offer a feeling of safety and assurance. And in our current situation, we all should seek for stability, safety, and trustful information, both based on experiences and qualitative research. Surrounded by these thoughts and ideas, I wish all of us a fruitful conference, lots of inspiring moments, and convincing arguments for further discussions and research activities at campus or virtually, in small groups or in big seminar groups. We all are working together in a wonderful field, I think, of education and research, and we all can be grateful for this opportunity. Thank you very much, all the best, and thanks for your attention.